Greetings, Poke fans! Michael here. So I've been watching some PewDiePie videos recently, and one thing that he does that I want to start doing that I think makes jokes more funny is when he zooms in on his face. So yeah, I think that's something I'd like to start doing for more fun. So now that Pokemon Sun and Moon have been out for just over 2 months, most of you have probably completed the main story, and a solid chunk of you may have even completed the Pokedex and obtained the Shiny Charm, like myself. Because of that, you're probably looking for things to do in the post-game. Competitive battling is an option, but if you're like me and don't really want to do that and the battle tree proves too difficult and frustrating, one thing that many have turned to is shiny hunting. Shiny hunting is bigger than it's ever been before, with shiny Pokemon regularly appearing on my Twitter feed from all sorts of different people. Now, while I haven't been much of a shiny hunter in the past, seeing all this other hunting going on has me itching to do some hunting of my own. So in this video, I'm going to be counting down what I believe to be the coolest shiny Pokemon to hunt for in Pokemon Sun and Moon. This list will only include Pokemon currently available in Sun and Moon, and therefore will exclude Pokemon that you have to transfer in. In addition to that, this list will mostly feature fully evolved Pokemon that you can't actually encounter in the wild or hatch, so therefore you can't hunt for these Pokemon specifically. However, since the main goal of hunting for a pre-evolution is often getting a shiny final evolution, and the shiny final evolutions often look cooler anyways, those are going to be the Pokemon that I discuss. So be sure to comment below what Pokemon you think have the coolest shinies, leave a like on the video, and subscribe if you have not. And without further ado, here are the top 10 coolest shiny Pokemon to hunt for in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Number 10. Umbreon. Umbreon is my favorite evolution, but I also think it has the coolest shiny form of all the evolutions as well. Changing the yellow rings to be a sleek blue looks really awesome, and that combined with the yellow eyes really makes Umbreon seem like a creature of the night. There are 2 ways to get a shiny Umbreon, the Masuda method or SOS chaining. The Masuda method, for those who don't know, is where breeding 2 Pokemon from 2 different national origins increases the chance of the offspring being shiny. So you could Masuda method breed for a shiny Eevee and then evolve it through friendship to get a shiny Umbreon. SOS chaining, where you keep a battle going to one Pokemon continuously calling for help, is another way to get a shiny Pokemon, since the chances of encountering a shiny go drastically up the more Pokemon that are called for help. So you could SOS chain for a shiny Eevee on routes 4 or 6, but if you chain at night and are extremely lucky, an Eevee could call a shiny Umbreon. The chances for that are extremely low, however, so you're probably better off just chaining for an Eevee, but who knows? Number 9. Aegislash. Shiny Aegislash is the best Gen 6 shiny in my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree with me since I saw shiny Aegislash everywhere. Although with the Gen 6 competitive scene, everyone saw Aegislash everywhere, but whatever. I think shiny Aegislash looks a lot more badass than regular Aegislash, mainly due to the dark gray coloring, glowing yellow eye, and the red coloring along the edge of the blade that looks kinda like blood. I personally think this should have been the regular Aegislash coloring because it looks just really awesome. If you want a shiny Aegislash, you either have to Masuda method breed for Honedge or soft reset for Honedge with Island Scan. I personally recommend doing Masuda method since the Island Scan method would be much harder. First, you have to Island Scan for Honedge on Akala Island on a Wednesday. And then once you get to the area where it is, you have to soft reset for it with the encounter since Island Scan Pokemon don't call for help. And not only is this more time consuming, it's also a really big challenge, since once you do the scan, you only have 1 real-time hour before the Pokemon disappears, and then you have to wait for your scanner to recharge again. So Masuda method is definitely the way to go for this. Number 8. Veikable. Veikable is my favorite Gen 7 Pokemon, and I'm very pleased to see that it has an awesome shiny form as well. The sleek silver makes it look metallic and fierce, but the green pincer stripes and bright red face add some vibrancy that makes for a really awesome looking contrast. Almost like a cool high-tech computer with really awesome LED lights. If you want a shiny Veikable, you can either Masuda method breed for Grubbin, SOS chain for Grubbin on routes 1, 4, 5, or 6, or SOS chain for Charjabug on Blush Mountain. I personally recommend SOS chaining for Grubbin since it'll be less time consuming than Masuda method, and Grubbin is far more likely to call for help than Charjabug. Number 7. Braviary. I actually didn't know that Braviary had a cool shiny form until I started making this video, but holy crap, it looks awesome! What changes from Murikaburt here is that the red and blue on its back switch places, and its belly plumage changes from being more navy in color to more of a brown coloring, and I think it looks awesome. That shade of blue is one of my favorite colors, and I think one of the coolest ways to make a shiny, in my opinion, is by keeping the same general color scheme and switching around the locations a bit, of which Braviary is a prime example. If you want a shiny Braviary, it'll depend on what version you're playing. If you're playing Moon, your only option is to Masuda Method breed for Rufflet. However, if you're playing Sun, you of course still have the Masuda Method option, but you can also SOS chain for Rufflet on Route 3, or SOS chain for Braviary on the Pony Plains. I personally recommend SOS chaining for Rufflet since it is substantially more likely to call for help than Braviary is. Number 6. Decidueye. Merry Christmas, suckers! Shiny Decidueye is here to bring Christmas cheer all year round with his arrows of Yuletide spirit. Literally every aspect of Shiny Decidueye is Christmassy, and I love it. His wings look like a Christmas tree speckled with snow, his hood looks like a wreath, and he even has a red gift bow right under its face. I love it so much. Delibird will probably always have the throne of the go-to Christmas Pokemon, but Shiny Decidueye is definitely the uncontested runner-up. If you want a Shiny Decidueye, you will probably have to Masuda Method breed for Rowlet. The only way to get a Rowlet in your own game without trading is to either hatch it or start with it. So while you could soft reset for one at the beginning of your game like my friend the Supreme Arcanines did, I doubt you're going to want to do that since you would either have to start your game over or buy a new one. Also, the cutscene is like 3 minutes long, so you'll have to have godlike patience, which Dallas obviously does. Number 5. Lycanroc. I personally think Midday Lycanroc is the cooler of the two Lycanroc forms, but this entry is for both of them since I think both have really cool shinies. Both of them are blue, which as I said before is my favorite color, but even if it wasn't my favorite color, I think the blue fits both of them really well. Shiny Midday Lycanroc looks like a cool, steely winter wolf, and Shiny Midnight Lycanroc looks kind of like a different breed of werewolf, which of course still looks really awesome. If you want a shiny Lycanroc, you can either Masuda Method breed for Rockruff, SOS chain for Rockruff in 10 Carat Hill's Farthest Hollow, or SOS chain for either form of Lycanroc in Vast Pony Canyon. Assuming you're playing the version that will cause Rockruff to evolve into the Lycanroc form that you want, I personally recommend SOS chaining for Rockruff, especially since Lycanroc calls for help far less often than Rockruff does, and it will likely be faster than the Masuda Method. Number 4. Palisand. Lots of people have praised shiny Palisand, and I agree with them. Alola has 2 black sand beaches, so making the shiny Sandcastle Pokemon the color of another kind of sand is really creative. And in addition to its cool inspiration, it looks awesome. If you want to find yourself a shiny Palisand, you can either Masuda Method breed for Sandygast or SOS chain for Sandygast on Hano Beach. Like the other entries, I personally recommend SOS chaining. Tends to be more successful faster from what I've seen. Number 3. Golisopod. When I first saw shiny Golisopod, I immediately wanted one. The white coloring combined with the blue dots and the fierce red face mask makes it look like a winter trilobite of death. I want one. Unfortunately, Wimpod doesn't call for help, so if you want a shiny Golisopod, you'll either have to Masuda Method breed or soft reset with Wild Encounters in Route 8, the Pony Wilds, or the Pony Breaker Coast. Obviously, Masuda Method is better here since it's going to be much faster since the odds are much higher. Number 2. Gigalith. Gigalith is my favorite rock-type Pokemon, partially because a 4-legged stone creature with cool red spikes jutting out of it looks awesome, but also because its shiny form is one of my favorite of all Pokemon. Changing the red spikes to be an electric blue looks really badass, and I really want a shiny Gigalith of my own. If you want a shiny Gigalith, you can either Masuda Method breed for Roggenrola, SOS chain for Roggenrola in 10 Carat Hill, or SOS chain for Boldore in Vast Pony Canyon. Roggenrola SOS chaining will probably lead to success the fastest, but it might get a little frustrating due to the combination of Sand Attack and Sturdy. Trust me on this one. However, one cool way to get around it that a fan suggested is using a Keen Eye 2 cannon with Bullet Seed, which I still need to make because I really want a shiny Gigalith. Number 1. Manyor. I really like Manyor a lot. It's adorable, has an interesting gimmick, and is surprisingly pretty good and competitive. I also really like how Manyor can be a bunch of different colors, making it so every Manyor is somewhat differentiated from the other ones. This aspect of it makes it seem like its shiny form would be tricky to design, but I think shiny Manyor is perfect. It's black, which is the absence of all colors, plus the speckles of all the other colors it can be around it looks so cool. I need it. If you want a shiny Manyor of your own, your only option outside of random encounters is to Masuda method breed. Manyor can't call for help, but that probably doesn't even matter since it would likely blow itself up with self-destruct and end the battle anyways. Thankfully, Manyor does hatch in Shields Down form, so you can see immediately whether or not it's shiny. Could you imagine having to take every single baby Manyor into battle and half its health, just so you could see whether or not it was shiny? Only masochists would have shiny Manyors if that were the case. So there we have it. Those are the top 10 coolest shiny Pokemon to hunt in Pokemon Sun and Moon. In my opinion, of course. But whatever shiny Pokemon you decide to hunt, I wish you the greatest of successes throughout all the lands. What did you think of this video? Do you agree with my list? What are some other shiny Pokemon you're gonna go hunt now? Let me know in the comments below! And if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, you should definitely subscribe for more fun Pokemon content of all kinds. Alright, that's all I have for now, so till next time, you fans. Gotta catch them all!
Everybody wants to get down.